this story is the skunk herder. And you can't tell what that word is. It's like you're herding cattle, or you're herding cats, or you're herding storytellers. It's all possible. It's called the skunk herder. Sitting around the family table visiting, no one knew that from that conversation about my mother's problem would come a family legend. Sitting around there were several family members, including Uncle Bill. In a few short months, Uncle Bill would be the family champion skunk herder. No one even knew there was such a thing, but there would be. Mom's problem was the skunks. We lived out in the country. West of us was a creek. For reasons that no one could ever figure out, it was also sort of a skunk paradise. The skunks liked to go wandering, sometimes up toward our house. Our small old wood house stood there about 14 inches off the ground, propped up, but no real foundation. There was a space under the house. Here, dogs and other critters liked to crawl during the summer for the shade, and the winter because it was a bit warmer. Space was guarded by our small three-legged dog, Penny, whose greatest pleasure in life was fighting invading skunks. To my knowledge, she had never won a skunk fight. In fact, I'm not sure anyone could ever win a skunk fight. But she kept trying. Collateral damage, of course, was what remained after the fight, the odor from the skunks. The next family dinner was to be at our house. The family tradition was rotating to special dinners, and it was Mom's turn next. Mom had a fear that we would have a skunk invasion just before, or even worse, during her dinner. Uncle Bill sat there and listened. Uncle Bill was a small, thin, wiry man who often had unusual ideas. He said, "Billy, that's my mom's name, I may have a solution to your problem. I think me and my pony could herd those skunks away from your house, and it might discourage them from ever coming again." Uncle Bill has always wanted to be a cowboy, but life has made other choices for him. Then in his mid-40s, he won the lottery, a big lottery. He would never have to work again, so he decided to become a cowboy. First thing, he needed cowboy lessons. He heard about a man a few miles south who had a ranch where he trained horses and he taught riders. People would come from some distance to learn from him. Uncle Bill went there for lessons and to buy a horse and all the tack he needed. He had only recently even learned that tack meant all that stuff you need to ride horses, riding saddles and that stuff. Uncle Bill went for his first few lessons. The trainer, in just the first couple of lessons, saw that Uncle Bill had a problem. He was so small that when he got on top of the horse, it was hard for him to be in control and to make the horse do what he wanted. The trainer was honest with Uncle Bill, said, "I hate to keep taking your money, so I don't think this will ever work for you." Uncle Bill took this pretty hard and looked really discouraged. The trainer saw how much this affected him, thought for a moment, said, "Well, maybe I have an alternative for you." In a pen next to the training area was a small horse, what some would call a pony. The trainer pointed out the pony to Uncle Bill and said, "It's a very nice little pony. Some of the teenagers who come here to ride him. He's easy to handle and pretty quick. How about we try to put you on him and see if you might partner up?" That's exactly what they did, and it worked really well. They seemed to be a perfect match. While Uncle Bill needed training, what no one realized, the pony did not. That pony had been watching all the training going on in the big corral. It had seen what those big horses had to do, how they could outsmart a calf, cutting it for the group, or put on the brakes during calf roping. That little pony could turn quicker than most and surprisingly fast. All he needed was a chance and a good rider to partner with. The pony and Uncle Bill got really good at this new cowboy thing. All they needed now was a chance to put it into action. Uncle Bill had found just this opportunity, herding skunks. He came to our house to stay a week or so. Pony was in the corral. Every morning, Uncle Bill would saddle him, and they would sit and wait for a wandering skunk. It did not take long. From the creek area up from the cow lanes came the first skunk on the second day. They leaped into action and headed down the lane to confront the invader. The skunk stopped momentarily, took a quick look at this strange new animal, and proceeded toward the house. Uncle Bill, the pony, quickly headed it off. The skunk swerved to get around them. The pony was too fast and jumped in front again. Then 2 or 3 more times. The skunk was herded, realized it was hopeless, and retreated to the creek. The next day, a different skunk approached and tried to get to the house, but again, Uncle Bill and Pony were just too quick. All that cutting horse training was just too much for the skunk to overcome. The herding was working and it looked like Mom's dinner would be safe. Then a new player, the drama entered the scene. The skunks must have had a war council and elected a new skunk. From the creek now coming up the lane was the largest skunk Uncle Bill had ever seen. He immediately referred to him as Super Skunk, not just for his large size, but the white stripe down a normal skunk's back was now shaped like a lightning bolt. That is the way he moved. He was quick. And Uncle Bill and Pony went into the cutting horse mode, and for a moment heard the skunk to the right. This skunk was just too quick, and after a couple of moves, quickly went around into the house. Penny the dog was on duty, but as soon as she saw the sight of the skunk, she hid in the barn. Super Skunk did not linger. The mission was accomplished and he went back to the creek. However, it must have disregarded it as a trial run because the whole action was repeated the next day. Again, Super Skunk came toward the house and again the herding failed. Uncle Bill did not accept defeat easily and decided to try another approach. He went to town to the hardware store where they had the cowboy section there in the back of in the corner. He wanted a new solution. He had decided if they couldn't herd the skunk, maybe they could rope them and drag them away, even the Super Skunk. The problem was that when cows have big heads and small necks, for the rope to fit over, the skunks have a small head and the body got bigger, kinda hard to rope. Uncle Bill explained the problem. The hardware owner said, "We just got in some new secret rope equipment for the government. It used technology that was so secret, but it needed a trial. It was a laser guided rope. The rider wore special glasses that control the rope. When the rope was thrown, all the rider had to do was look at where it was going, where he wanted the rope to go. And the laser system took over and put it there. Uncle Bill said that might work. It was worth a try. It did not take long as the Super Skunk came back the next day and the challenge was on. Pony and rider were ready. There was a quick bob and weave, and Uncle Bill threw that rope. The laser guided system took over. That rope made a big loop and came down just in front of the Super Skunk's nose as he ran right into the loop and it was caught. The rope tightened, but it was not over yet. Super Skunk still had that special talent all skunks have, the spraying of that sensitive that blind a person as Pony. He fired away accurately. Luckily, the laser rope came with control glasses. They were wraparound and protected Uncle Bill's eyes. The kit also includes similar protection for the pony. Horse and rider had caught Super Skunk and they proceeded to drag him toward the creek at a gallop. Skunk hair is slick, and Super Skunk just flew along the ground at the end of the rope. Then Pony did a sharp turn to the left, and Super Skunk was whiplashed, snapped toward the creek. Uncle Bill pushed the release button on the rope. Super Skunk flew across the ground, disappearing into the trees, never to be seen again, nor were any other skunks. With mission accomplished, Uncle Bill decided on new adventures. Pony was sold to the Children's Therapy Program. Uncle Bill moved to Houston, where he got research work with NASA, testing herding strategies for controlling cockroaches. Mom testing their dinner on schedule. They all toasted Uncle Bill, now the champion family skunk.